guys, this is Matt Brunet, and welcome to Movie News Weekly, hosted by Filmbook. Now, before we begin, let's take a look at what we got in this week's news, which includes Get Out told people to get in, the big Oscar winners, Who Will Roar Like a Lion, the sequels you might want could become a comic, Hellboy Ain't Coming Back, The Literal Mother of Amblin, Your Age Will Not Be Hidden, Scorsese's on Netflix, Our Possibly 40th Anniversary Gift, and From Legos to The Real Deal. So with that said, let's get things started. It is what won first place and the message Lego Batman got to step down from his position. The highly acclaimed Jordan Peele movie Get Out managed to get in first place during the Oscar weekend at the box office with more than $30 million. This is then followed by the older movies of this month, including the Lego Batman movie moving back to second place by earning about $19 million. Meanwhile, 50 Shades Darker came tumbling down, going from second to fifth place with less than $8 million behind John Wick Chapter 2 with about $9 million, and The Great Wall with less than $9 million. As for the other new movie this week, Rock Dog, the Chinese animated feature began miserably all the way down at 11th place with about $3.7 million. Behind the Oscar-contending movies like Hidden Figures with less than $6 million, La La Land with more than $4.5 million, and Lion, which made about as much as Rock Dog. From Ben Affleck and guests, to Jimmy Kimmel's craziness, to a smack at the disastrous Muslim ban, to opening the wrong envelope, this will be an Oscar night to remember. The 89th Annual Academy Awards went to the stage, and the one who got away with the most Oscars was La La Land, which grabbed itself 6 of the 14 nominations it had gathered, including Best Actress for Emma Stone, Best Director for Damien Chazelle, Best Production Design, Best Cinematography, Best Original Score, and Best Original Song for Audition. However, after mistakenly announcing the wrong winner for the big one, Moonlight was the film that got Best Picture along with Best Supporting Actor for Mahershala Ali and Best Adapted Screenplay. Meanwhile, Hacksaw Ridge and Manchester by the Sea managed to walk away with a couple of Oscars, where the latter earned Best Original Screenplay and Best Actor for Casey Affleck. Other winners of the night include Viola Davis for Fences, Arrival, Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, The Jungle Book, Suicide Squad, The Salesman, OJ Made in America, The White Helmets, Sing, Piper, and Zootopia. With the first couple of actors in, things are so far Hakuna Matata. Jon Favreau went onto Twitter and revealed the first couple of actors that will be featured in the live-action reboot of Disney's The Lion King, which he will be directing. The first one was Atlanta creator Donald Glover, who will take on the role that was previously voiced by Matthew Broderick as Simba, while the other will be James Earl Jones reprising his role as Mufasa. This will be the second time Favreau will be in charge of one of Disney's live-action reboots, with his first being last year's The Jungle Book, which made about $966 million at the box office. There is no confirmation of when the feature will be released, but now Catch Me If You Can writer Jeff Nathanson is currently writing the script. Well, if not movies, then it has to come out somehow. In the podcast Kevin Smith's Smodcast, Smith brought up the notion of how he is still interested in creating sequels to his cult films Clerks and Mallrats. However, if they do happen, they might not come out as a movie. He stated, "Sooner or later, I will put the scripts out there for Clerks 3, a comic book or something like that, so people can see it. And the same thing for Mallrats. Probably Mallrats 2, the movie's script, will do as a comic book or something like that." The one issue with that though is that Bleeding Cool noted that Smith has a notoriety with delaying or even never finishing work on comics that he is involved with in both Marvel and DC. Good news! There is an official confirmation of what will happen to the anticipated sequel. The bad news? Guillermo del Toro announced on Twitter that there will no longer be a Hellboy 3. The tweet said, "Hellboy 3, sorry to report, spoke with all parties, must report that 100% the sequel will not happen, and that is to be the final thing about it." A few weeks ago, Del Toro discussed with star Ron Perlman and Hellboy creator Mike Mignola about the possibility of the project. But although they seemed to be on board with the idea, it ultimately didn't go off. When previously asked about what would be his vision of the story of Hellboy 3, Del Toro explained the idea for it was to have Hellboy finally come to terms with the fact that his destiny is to become the beast of the apocalypse, and he has to do it in order to be able to ironically vanquish the foe that he has to face in the third film. He has to become the beast of the apocalypse to be able to defend humanity, but at the same time, he becomes a much darker being. It's a very interesting ending of the series, but I don't think it will happen. It is time that Hollywood remembered the ones who were behind the legends. Leah Atler, the mother of Steven Spielberg, passed away at the age of 97. Ever since she was a child, Atler was a lover of music and even studied at the Music Conservatory in her home state of Cincinnati. She would later marry Arnold Mayer Spielberg and would have 4 kids, including Steven. After her divorce, she would later remarry with Bernie Adler, where they opened a kosher restaurant in Los Angeles called the Milky Way. From there, she would be known to give wise words to her guests. Steven Spielberg himself called her his lucky charm when he won the Oscar for Best Director for Schindler's List. She will surely be missed. You can't always hide that number. The U.S. District Court has ruled against AB 1687, which would have enforced by law to make it illegal for websites like IMDb to publicly show the actor's age. The law could have been a way to prevent age discrimination in Hollywood, but the judge explained that the rule might be a violation to the First Amendment. SAG-AFTRA quickly responded how they were not pleased with the ruling by stating, "We are disappointed that the court has chosen to temporarily halt the state of California's legal efforts to fully protect its citizens from employment discrimination. We look forward to the upcoming opportunity to present evidence to the court of how this law will reduce and eliminate the age discrimination facilitated by IMDb.com. I'm sure Netflix is now used to grabbing stuff that Paramount threw out. Netflix has picked up the rights to Martin Scorsese's gangster movie, The Irishman, based on the Charles Brandt novel, I Heard You Paint Houses. The project was originally set up at Paramount Pictures, but the movie to the streaming service comes coincidentally at the same time as Chairman and CEO Brad Gray stepped down from the studio. The movie is said to be a grand reunion with many of the biggest stars together. Joining Scorsese's includes Al Pacino, Joe Pesci, and Robert De Niro. The project was first announced in 2008, and it has yet to either have a release date or time to begin production. Let's hope we'll have the version we're looking for. MakingStarWars.net has started a rumor that the original cut of the Star Wars trilogy might actually get released on Blu-ray in honor of the 40th anniversary of the franchise. Although there has been many times when an announcement like this has been denied, the website provided that because of the anniversary, several sources are shown to prove it. It has actually happened when the original cuts were released on home media as a DVD set that was sold exclusively at Walmart. Analyzers are reporting that if there's any truth to any of this, then it could be announced during the Star Wars celebration in Orlando during April. Alright, enough with the toys, let's go with the real deal. Chris McKay, the director of the LEGO Batman movie, has been signed on by Warner Bros. To work on the live-action film Nightwing, which is connected to the Batman universe. Although no release date or cast has been confirmed to the project, a script is currently developed by the accountant-screenwriter Bill Dubuque. The LEGO Batman movie has so far been proven to be a great success at the box office. Not in the same levels of the LEGO movie, but so far at the domestic box office it has already surpassed $120 million. As the production on another movie with The Dark Knight goes on with The Batman with Matt Reeves officially as the director, the next DC movies coming this year includes Wonder Woman in June and Justice League on November 17th. And that's all I've got for this week. Thank you guys so much for watching, and don't forget to head on down to film-book.com for all the latest movie and TV news, along with their columns on the box office and their theatrical release schedule. Also, you can follow them on whatever social media you'd like. And while you're at it, you can follow me on my YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter if you're more into stuff like animation, Disney, and my weird sense of humor. If you were watching this on YouTube, then hit that like button and come subscribe to us, and also leave a little comment on what you think on the news this week. If you were listening to this on a podcast on iTunes or any other podcast service, then don't forget to rate and review what you just heard. Tune in next time for another round of Movie News Weekly, and until next week, see you later, dudes!